Okay, guys, and welcome back one more time. Today we're going to be headed out to a juvenile detention center or facility, or an actual school, or they have every state has different names. Every state has different uh, meanings for their actual detention centers. But out of high school, I worked at it was actual detention, juvenile detention, and they had anywhere from jaywalkers to actual murders. So it was every unit went by different security actual uh, reference. So but I worked at the admissions at the entry level for actual for kids who could not speak English. I would have to actually administer a test to find out exactly what level of school they're actually would be attending, because you have to go to school when you're in these actual detention centers. You have to go to school. So I'd have to test them first, and then uh, find out exactly where they need to be placed while in that juvenile center. So apparently there was a 40-year-old, uh, what they called as a guard, but we would call them coaches, but these are actually COs. But he was a 40-year-old CO male, and he wasn't employed by them not even more than 3 years. So he actually pled guilty to extortion under color of office, right? Basically, bribes for delivering contraband, and apparently there was an FBI operation that have uncovered that he was accepting bribes for smuggling drugs and other contrabands into the actual facility. And from my experiences, our entrance was an employee entrance. I worked for the education side, so um, we did not get scrutinized. We did not get searched. We did not have to go through no kind of metal detectors. But this is many years ago, so I'm sure procedures have changed as time has changed. But we just put in our code and our key, and we were able to actually access our offices. We would have to get buzzed in as we travel through the units, just like any other prison. But apparently, he was getting cell phones through. He was getting weed and the vape pens with actual weed as a liquid, and chewing tobacco. And he actually uh, collected cash from either friends or the family members of the actual inmates. And he also used a cash app, and that cash app he generated over 11,000 just in that cash app itself. He would text message, and through the cash app electronic payment, he would actually take the orders, and he would actually fill the actual order for these actual inmates. And I mean, how long will you think this is gonna last? Think about it. Kids talk. Kids love to brag. Not unless he was like in a like a YA youth authority where you're in there for years. But if it's just the name of this actual it was like some kind of hill school or something. But if it was really a prison, it had a weird name. But I mean, how long are these guys gonna be there? For a few months, up to a year. But he was taking orders and he was getting payments. And like I said, people talk, people get caught with stuff inside the actual facility. And when you're a young kid and you're looking at extra time, of course you're going to cooperate. So the FBI conducted an operation that uncovered him actually conducting this actual type of actual business. And apparently, in February 2020, law enforcement lit him up on his way to work. He was in his vehicle, and he pulled over, and they found Apparently, weed ready to be smuggled in. I don't know, man. I don't know how if he keistered it or not, but it was already ready, wrapped up to be smuggled, along with vape cartridges and with liquid weed. And for this type of offense, you could get up to 20 years for this type of offense, depending on how the judge looks at it. He pled guilty, so I'm gonna be actually keep an eye on this, see exactly how much time he's actually gonna get. But again, I want to reiterate, how long were you expected to actually run this operation? He only ran it for like 7 months. So, like I said, kids talk, kids brag, kids get caught. You got an electronic paper trail, payment trail, money trail with this Cash App thing. So, I mean, someone's gonna take a look at that. Where's this all this extra cash coming from, and who's actually providing you with this money? They look at it. They look at a lot of things nowadays. And they can do warrants without you even knowing. And it's your electronic devices. And on that note, too, I have another story from El Paso. Uh, a juvenile probation officer slash documented gang member, there's not a law against that. They just threw that in there. He was an actual gang member uh, from a local, I think, Blood or Crip in the neighborhood, some story like that. Anyways, he received 18 years for sex trafficking. So they actually named him in that actual indictment along with his gang. And if his name wouldn't have showed up, he would have been fine. He would still been able to be a gang member and still work as a juvenile probation officer. But since they mentioned him in the actual indictment, he received 18 years for that. That's a long time. But then again, they were conducting sex trafficking crimes. Okay, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.